as Bourbon Street is on edge.
And a dramatic takedown in the debate over children and social media. Australia moves toward a ban. Good afternoon, I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Sylvia Perez. All that ahead in busy hour. But first, we've got to talk about the frigid weather. That's first at 4. We do have team coverage of the dangerous cold and another frozen night ahead of us. Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls joining us first. And it's pretty bad out there, Emily.
Yeah, we never got away from that frozen night that we had last night. It's still freezing outside, by definition, of course, because temperatures are well below the freezing mark. Here's a live view. It is stunning outside just to look at, not to feel. Again, because temperatures have been cold all day long. Take a look at your low temperatures from this morning. We're actually 5 degrees below zero in Aurora. We bottomed out at about 7 degrees at O'Hare, 10 in Gary. As expected, we were running a little bit warmer over in northwest Indiana. That's because we had some lake effect cloud cover keeping us just a tad warmer. But your temperatures right now, they haven't changed all that much through the day. We're only up to about 4 degrees in Aurora. It's 19 at O'Hare, 20 at the lakefront, 25 in Gary, 17 in Waukegan. We're at 14 degrees in Woodstock, and it's only 11 across places like DeKalb, Morris, same thing in LaSalle. And once you factor in a slight breeze, we still have sub-zero wind chills out there at this hour. It's feeling like 5 degrees below zero currently in Aurora. And again tonight, we're counting on temperatures dropping below the 0 degree mark for many of us. So the next 48 hours around here in the city, closer to the lakefront and over in northwest Indiana, looking at temperatures between 0 and 5 degrees above zero tonight. Then tomorrow, we're going up into the 20s, and then we should stay in the 20s Friday night into Saturday. But this is still way below average for this time of the year, and it still is going to be a long time until we see temperatures above the freezing mark. Those details coming up.
Well, the cold slaps you the minute you walk outside, and we're stuck with it for a while. Leslie Moreno is live in Chicago with how to stay safe. Leslie?
Hey, Sylvia, good evening. Yeah, it is brutally cold out here, and that danger can set in pretty quick if you're not prepared. Tonight, hospitals across Chicago are warning people this kind of cold can be extremely dangerous, even life-threatening. If you stepped outside this morning, you know just how cold it is. Wind chills made it feel minus 10 and 15 degrees, and tonight we're doing it all over again. More sub-zero wind chills coming our way. Doctors say this type of weather can cause frostbite in less than 30 minutes, especially on exposed skin. They recommend layering up, which we've seen people doing, and covering your hands, ears, and nose. Health experts warn if you start feeling numbness or tingling in any of those areas, it's time to get indoors immediately.
You may feel fine out there for a couple minutes, but anything could happen as far as slipping on the ice, falling down. Now you're outside for an extended period of time. So really just keeping those things in mind. Also, not only just the short exposure, but what can happen when you're walking outside with the extreme temperatures, the ice, the snow, all of those things. If your dog runs away, now you're frantically trying to find them. So it's super important to be prepared, whether you're going to be outside for 5 minutes or an extended period of time.
And also a good reminder, if you have any elderly neighbors, make sure you're checking on them as well. Bring your pets indoors. And if you're in need of a warming center, we have a full list of locations on fox32chicago.com. For now, reporting live here in the Loop, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, Leslie, thank you. And once the cold slides in, your body starts telling on itself in ways you don't notice in July. Your teeth usually speak first. The American Dental Association says that sharp sting in cold air can be tiny cracks or gum recession that stay quiet indoors. It's your mouth saying basically, hey, you check on me, bruh. Then your nose gets loud. Mayo Clinic doctors say cold air can dry your lining so fast it causes burning or those little pop-up nosebleeds, in fact, and that points to a blockage or dryness you never clocked. Your breathing can join in too. Cleveland Clinic says a cough that only hits outside can be early asthma that hides the rest of the year. And your skin loves to snitch too. Dermatologists say cracks that show up in the same exact spots every winter can be early eczema, not just dry hands. Even your fingers drop hints. Johns Hopkins rheumatologists say when they turn white or numb quick, that can be rain nose. So cold weather can throw off your balance too. ENT specialists say your inner ear gets more sensitive when the temperatures get lower, and that can make you feel slightly unsteady.
Off balance? Like
off
maybe
balance,
even a
yeah.
little-
So if you feel a little wonk, that's because of the low temperatures in your inner ear. So check on that.
Put like eardrops in there.
Well, at least just wear some ear muffs or something, or a hat.
Yes.
Coming up on the news at 5, we'll break down the 5 things the cold reveals about your home and your car.
Very interesting. Chicago fire investigators say a fire in an Old Town high-rise was caused by an unattended candle that was left burning. This happened on Tuesday near North and Wells. You can see the damage left behind. A resident who spoke with us on Chicago Live said the hallways were filled with smoke and she was tying blankets together just in case she had to climb down from the 14th floor. This fire started in a 3rd floor unit. Nobody was seriously injured. We are getting new details in the shooting death of a young mother in Chicago. Prosecutors say the woman accused of killing her did not know her before that encounter.
We're also learning the accused had filed an order of protection months earlier that was never served. Tia Ewing is here with the other key points we've learned from court today.
I mean, so many key points in this case. And you mentioned her saying that she didn't know her. She said she had never laid eyes on her before until this shooting. And we know she is the alleged shooter in this case. Let's run it down for you. Prosecutors are revealing new details about the shooting that left Romeca Blackmon dead. They say the accused shooter, Quadeja Johnson, had never met Blackmon in person, even though she filed an unserved order of protection against her last December, claiming threats through family members. Blackmon's mother is now left raising her 7-year-old grandson.
I just want justice for my daughter, and I want peace in my family. This has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. It's been terrible. I mean, we've been torn apart. One of the leaders of our family, she was the baby, but she was the leader. The holidays are not holidays. I'm just grateful to God.
Well, let's walk through this. So on September 8th, investigators say Johnson and the father of her child were near his home. They drove Johnson to 20 West Cermak, where her car was parked. They placed their 6-month-old into Johnson's car in the back seat. Around the same time, Blackmon had just dropped off her son at a nearby school and drove back to the area where Johnson and the father were. Witnesses told police the women argued. They reported the father pushing Johnson away and Blackmon standing with her arms crossed. They say he then slammed a car door on Blackmon and also put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors say Johnson broke free, and that is when, or I should say Blackmon broke free, and that is when Blackmon was shot once. And then that's when they say Johnson paused, then fired 2 more times. Police recovered 3 9mm casings there at that scene. Johnson legally owned the gun and claimed self-defense. Prosecutors say Blackmon was unarmed. Her son turned 7 days after the shooting and is still asking to this very day, where is his mother?
Carlos may be hurt for the rest of his life, but we make sure he see rainbows in his clouds. Okay? Nothing will ever change about that. There is nothing he needs that we cannot provide. He is perfectly well. He is happy. He is thriving. And even when he feels his lowest, we pull him out of it together like we do with each other. He a superstar like his mom, and he's going to show her better than he can tell her.
Now, Johnson's lawyers did argue that she's 7 weeks pregnant and should be released from custody. The judge didn't see it that way. She remains in custody even right now. Johnson's next court appearance is scheduled to happen December 23rd. This is a story that we've watched closely, a lot of national reaction to it, and of course we'll continue to follow it.
Yeah, and a lot of new details we learned today. Have we heard at all from the father?
In fact, I just received a FaceTime call from the father. He says a lot of what the witnesses are reporting that we're hearing from the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, he's saying that the details did not play out that way. He's asking questions about, are they sure they saw this? What is making them say that he put her in a chokehold? All of these things. So he's saying the narrative didn't play out quite like what we're hearing and what we heard in court today. So this is one that we will be following, and of course we're going to try to make sure that we get his side of things as well.
All right, I know you'll stay on top of it, Tia. Thank you.
Thank you. The Park District, Forest Police Park District, remembering one of their own today.
Yeah, Detective Tim Jones died yesterday after a long fought recovery from critical injuries he suffered after he was shot in the line of duty back in 2016.
Casey Cronus is live in Park Forest with how he is now being honored. Casey?
Detective Tim Jones's death marks Park Forest's first line of duty loss. The chief tells me his smile lit up the department and his example still sets the standard for new officers. Detective Tim Jones was 34 years old. Nearly a decade ago, he suffered a traumatic brain injury after being shot in the head while arresting a burglary suspect. Doctors didn't think he would make it, but he defied the odds. Through years of recovery, his own strength and resilience was on his side. In March of 2021, the Village promoted Jones to an honorary detective. Jones graduated from Tinley Park High School, played football at the University of Indianapolis, and then became a recruit at the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, where each year the Timothy Jones Physical Fitness Award is now given to a recruit. Park Forest Police Chief Brian Reisky tells me that when Jones was a rookie, he was the detective commander and often noticed Jones writing up reports and would stop to check in.
Every time I did that, I would always come back to the detective office and I would shut the door and I would look at everyone in the room and go, I'm telling you what, that Tim Jones, he is something else and he's going places. And it's just, I truly meant it. He was just a wonderful, wonderful human being.
Public funeral arrangements have not yet been announced, but the department says it will share that with the public when it has those details. Reporting live in Park Forest, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
All right, Casey, thank you. In 1 month, the L station at State Lake downtown is going to be shut down for renovations.
It's not going to reopen for 3 years. That station is 120 years old, and the Chicago Department of Transportation says instead of just fixing it up, they're just going to tear it all down in its place. We'll be replacing that with a new fully accessible rail hub. There's going to be wider platforms, new elevators, and a big glass canopy. This is all beginning next year, January 5th. The station will not reopen until 2029. Of course, this means there's going to be a ton of impact to service. The brown, green, orange, and pink lines, as well as the Purple Express line, will no longer stop at that station. The Lake Red Line subway station will stay open. You can transfer between that one and the station on Washington and Wabash. The bus stop on State Street will remain the same. Straight ahead, federal immigration operations move to the Big Easy. We have a live report from New Orleans.
And we see this video every year around Christmas time, but this season there's something a little different in the Chicago Fire Department safety warning. Come on back.
Duke.
Welcome back. It's 4:14. New Orleans is at the center of a major immigration sweep. Homeland Security says it's aiming for thousands of arrests under an operation it's calling Catahoula Crunch.
Yeah, and today City Hall was packed with protesters. They were furious about how local leaders are responding to this federal crackdown. Sarah Legre was there. She is live now in New Orleans. Sarah, what did you see?
Yeah, good evening to you both. I was there at City Hall a little bit earlier. Things were very peaceful. It was calm and quiet. Then we started to see a change once those protesters went inside council chambers. Then that's when the whole environment essentially escalated, ending in one protester carried out by several police officers. Shame on you! Yeah, the chaos started when a few protesters tried to speak at the podium demanding ice-free zones, but council members cut them off for being off topic. Then the room turned. People shouted shame and coward. That's when council members walked out. Police told everyone to clear the room, but many fought and stayed. Then officers started escorting people out. One was picked up and carried out. Many yelled, "Don't touch him, get your hands off of him," before police rushed all of them out of the room too. Protesters say they expect elected officials to do more here.
It is not just the duty, but it is literally the job of city council to protect and serve the people, is it not? And are they doing that?
Yeah, this all comes as DHS released these mugshots of just some of the people they've arrested so far. Charges include battery, child endangerment, and domestic violence. Border Patrol says they've taken more than 20 illegal immigrants into custody as of yesterday. Chief Greg Bovino is leading the charge, and he told my colleague Mike Tobin that his guys won't stop until the criminals are out.
When all the illegal aliens leave New Orleans, when all those bad people, bad things, those criminal aliens, the child rapists, the terrorists, and all those individuals that we apprehend, when they're all gone, mission accomplished.
Yeah, and the New Orleans City Council also made their own Know Your Rights portal. They shared it with residents. It's a way that they can report abuse if they experience any by federal immigration officers, saying in part their primary goal is to ensure safety for everyone. In New Orleans, Sarah Legre, Fox 32 Chicago.
Sarah, thank you. And all this happens as lawmakers face new pressure to set clear rules for dreamers. Senator Dick Durbin says it's time to give them a real path to legal status. He says the U.S. can't keep leaving young people in limbo while raids continue and courts decide DACA's fate. Today, Durbin and Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski introduced the DREAM Act of 2025. It would let people brought here as kids earn legal status through school, work, or military service. Durbin says this is urgent because many dreamers still have no legal way to stay, even if they pass every background check. He pointed to Annie Lucia Lopez Beloza, a college student brought here at age 8. She was shackled at a Boston airport recently and sent to Honduras despite a judge's order to wait. Durbin says her case shows how quickly lives can be torn apart when the rules aren't clear.
Does this young lady look like the worst of the worst? The answer is clearly no. Ms. Lopez Beloza is one of countless dreamers who have great potential to make this a better country. They're not asking for a free ride. They are hardworking and determined.
DACA still remains today, but court challenges might change that. Senator Durbin says this DREAM Act is his last shot before he leaves the Senate. Critics say we need to focus on border control first. The Senate hasn't said if or when this bill will move forward.
A warning from the Chicago Fire Department: keep your Christmas tree from space heaters. Today, the department held its annual safety demonstration showing the potential dangers of incorrectly using space heaters near a live Christmas tree. So it's just not a good idea, that is. And they say getting an early start on Christmas requires some extra safety precautions.
Especially since COVID, people want to extend the holiday season. They say putting up the Christmas tree early reduces stress and anxiety and helps combat winter blues. But putting the Christmas tree up early also has added risk, especially an increased risk of fire if you're putting up a real Christmas tree. Fresh trees can dry out in as little as 4 weeks. A dried out Christmas tree can become engulfed in flames within seconds of ignition.
The fire department says always keep space heaters at least 3 feet away from anything.
And we know it is a struggle to stay warm and safe in this weather. We're pleased to be joined by one organization working to make a difference.
ShyCare is on the street literally every single day, helping those in need who need it the most in desperate times. Faraz Sartaria is on the executive board. He is joining us now. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Let's talk about just how critical this problem is. What are you seeing out on the streets?
Well, as you know, this cold weather brings life-threatening challenges. And, we do this work daily throughout different encampments, wellness fairs, and CTA stations. We provide warm meals and essential living items during the winter time so our unhoused brothers and sisters can have some support.
Yeah, talk more about what you do to try and help those people who need help.
During this cold, we've increased our outreach efforts as temperatures drop, our routes expand, and we're a mobile organization, so we try to bring help directly to individuals wherever they are. So we drive around 7 days a week and provide warm meals and essential living items to our unhoused neighbors. And that includes having partnerships with local organizations that really help us reach the finish line here during the winter, the cold winter times, such as having donations from Zagat Chicago, jackets and hats, and being able to provide warm meals and living items on the streets in this temperature really does make a big difference.
Oh, I'm sure it certainly does. Now, you have some specific encampments where you guys work, and I know there has been a push to try to move the homeless out of certain areas. What are you dealing with right now as the times have changed and these there's more restrictions on some of these encampments?
So we see waves, right? We see encampments increase in certain areas and decrease in certain areas as the city works to try to find housing for folks on the streets. More encampments pop up, and we just try to increase our services wherever we can find the encampments and work with the local partners on the streets and the outreach teams to really find where we can make a bigger impact, or any way possible to make an impact.
Would you say the situation is improving or getting worse here in Chicago?
Well, it's like I said, it's up and down at the moment. As you can tell with all that's going on, we are seeing more tents on our local parks and streets, and we have created ourselves a heat map of where we provide support. And many of that you can see or volunteer to join us through our website at shy-care.org, which makes a big difference.
Well,
all hands on deck always helps.
Yeah, we thank you for joining us, and we appreciate all the hard work that you guys are doing. Please keep that up. You are doing a great service. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's take a live look outside because it is cold. We were taking live looks outside all day long, and it looks so pretty. The sun is shining. Look at this gorgeous picture. But the temperature, it's deceiving. What is it right now, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it looks pretty. It doesn't feel pretty. But it really depends on exactly where you are when it comes to the temps, because we have everything ranging from single digits in Aurora to mid-20s across portions of Northwest Indiana. Right now, it's 25 degrees in Gary. 4 degrees is your temperature currently in Aurora, 19 at O'Hare, 21 degrees at the Chicago Lakefront, 13 in Woodstock. So again, it really depends on where you're at this moment. Tonight, a lot of us are going to be dropping down between -5 for those of you in our usual cold spots, places like Woodstock, DeKalb, Aurora, even over toward LaSalle, likely going to be running a little bit cooler. But then over toward the city, I think we're staying about 5 degrees above zero. So another wide range of temps that we're working with tonight. Notice by about 10 p.m. we're already going to be seeing a couple sub-zero temperatures popping up across the far west. And then early tomorrow, we're going to be waking up to temperatures likely in the single digits, warming into the 20s going into your afternoon. So much warmer conditions expected tomorrow. We're going to have sunshine to get the day started. Then increasing cloud cover is expected through the day. For tonight, 4 degrees in the city. Again, some spots, especially the far western sections of the area, usual cold spots are going to be dropping below zero. And we're going to have winds that occasionally gust as high as about 15, maybe close to 20 miles per hour. So that's going to result in very cold wind chill temperatures again. Wind chills pretty easily tonight, going to dip down between 10, maybe 15 degrees below zero. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 28, 29, mostly cloudy on Saturday. Sunday, a chance of light snow. Temps are going to be in the 20s once again, and then we are in the low 20s come Monday. but possibly above freezing, everybody, by Tuesday of next week.
That's good news. Thanks, Emily. Still ahead, was a 7-year-old girl bullied into a kissing club? Disturbing accusations at an elite private school. We're going to hear from the mother.
Buckle up, football fans. It's time now for Toyota Talks. I'm excited to bring in my good buddy David Haw. Much has been made of Caleb Williams and his completion percentage being as down as it has been. I don't think the guy's hit 60% over the last 5 games. And we know Ben Johnson had a goal of 70% to start the season. Does that bother you? Does his completion percentage, where it is right now, or at least over the last 5 games, does it bother you where it's been?
I don't want to dismiss it, but I'm not going to dwell on it. And I'm not going to dwell on it because the Bears are 9-3. They're not 3-9. The stakes have changed. The purpose is different. When he said that, it was at the beginning of the season. And at the beginning of this season, the priority was developing a quarterback and then everything else. Well, you know what? They're number 1 in the NFC. They're atop the NFC North. Right now, the priority is winning. And sometimes when you change directions in the course of a season subtly, more significantly, you change what you're trying to do each and every week. What they're trying to do each and every week now is winning outweighs developing Caleb Williams. If you were just going to hold him to a statistical standard, you'd say, yeah, that's not good enough. But you know what is good enough? 9-3.
Still ahead, we're back out into the cold. A live update on the sub-zero wind chills and what's coming our way next.
It involved actual kissing of young girls amongst each other, but it led to actual sexual touching.
Horrifying accusations of bullying and abuse at a private school where children of LeBron James and the Kardashians have attended.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand? If you want soup, sweatpants, and 0 in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
Ashley.
Welcome back. Chicago Mayor Johnson has a message for alders who proposed an alternative city budget. It's dead on arrival.
Political reporter Paris Schutz is in the newsroom with the latest developments. Paris?
Yeah, Terrence and Celia, the clock is ticking here. This budget battle coming down to the wire. The mayor and city council have until the end of the year to agree on the spending plan, and they just canceled the December 8th meeting where they were ostensibly going to vote on it. Now, today, Mayor Johnson essentially said no go to the alternative budget proposed by a group of city council members. That budget relied on things like doubling the garbage fee, increasing liquor taxes and rideshare congestion fees, as well as more cuts in efficiencies to balance a $1.15 billion hole. Now, that's in lieu of Mayor Johnson's proposed $100 million corporate head tax. So these alders say that tax is a deal killer. Mayor Johnson says it must be part of any final budget proposal. Mayor also says the alternative proposal is $300 million short of closing that gap. But he says maybe some of those ideas could be part of a final plan.
They didn't fully complete the entire assignment. But we're going to still work with them. But again, it relies heavily on garbage fees, and in some wards we're talking anywhere from 15 to 20,000 more people will have to pay double the amount of what they paid before. I think it's pretty straightforward here that we can either balance this budget off the backs of working people or challenge 3% of the largest corporations in the city of Chicago to put more skin in the game. That's the conclusion that I've come to. That's the conclusion that the vast majority of Chicagoans have come to. I do appreciate the participation. There's a lot more work to be done. My administration will remain engaged throughout this entire process.
And just this afternoon, one of the 26 alders supporting the alternative budget with this response, quote, "It is our responsibility and obligation to stand up for Chicago and our financial future." That's from the 11th Ward Alderman Nicole Lee. quote, "We can't vote for this budget, which I believe will hurt working families today and our children tomorrow. Our kids will inherit Mayor Johnson's irresponsible borrowing. His plan that it kills economic growth, undermines required pension payments, takes away tools to spur neighborhood development, and lacks needed structural efficiencies, spending, and revenue options." Now, the mayor's blaming corporate interests here for being behind the campaign to come up with an alternative budget. On the other end, the Chicago Teachers Union is heavily promoting the mayor's budget with the corporate head tax. So this high-stakes standoff shows no signs of abating anytime soon. Terrence?
All right, Paris, thank you. Well, we certainly hope you're doing whatever you have to do to stay warm today.
So let's check back in with Leslie Moreno, who's downtown this afternoon. It is cold out there. Leslie.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, I can tell you it feels brutal out here, and it's only getting colder as that sun sets. So that danger can set in pretty quick if you're not prepared. Hospitals across Chicago are warning people tonight. This kind of cold can be extremely dangerous, even life-threatening. If you stepped outside this morning, you know just how cold it was. We saw wind chills that made it feel -10 and -15 degrees. And tonight we're doing it all over again. More subzero wind chills coming our way. Doctors say this type of weather can cause frostbite in less than 30 minutes, especially on exposed skin. They recommend layering up, which we have seen people doing out here. Make sure you're covering your hands, your ears, and your nose as well. Health experts warn if you start feeling numbness or tingling in any of those areas, it's time to get inside immediately.
It depends really on the wind chill also, but it really doesn't take as long as you think. So about 30 minutes in the temperatures that we're going to be seeing. It's really important to keep those body parts covered, especially with the wind chill the way it is. The nose, like you said, the nose, the toes, the ears, the chin, the cheeks, those are the first ones that really start to see the frostbite symptoms.
And if you have any elderly neighbors, don't forget to check on them as well. If you have any pets, make sure you bring them indoors. And if you're in need of a warming center, we have a full list for you on fox32chicago.com. We'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Leslie, thanks so much. All right, Emily, it's the type of cold that no matter what you put on, it's not going to feel like enough.
Yeah, that's right. So we have temperatures right now, just depending on where you're at. Some locations are already down into the single digits. Others still holding on to teens and even a couple 20s out there. But this view is so stunning. It's looked like a really pretty day because we've had mostly clear skies. Temperatures tonight in the city going down to about 4 degrees. But again, for those of you in our usual cold spots, think places like Aurora, DeKalb, Woodstock, very easily looking at temperatures as low as about 5 degrees below zero. And on top of that, we're going to have a breeze. So again, those wind chill temperatures as cold as about 15 below. Your out the door forecast for your Friday, very cold, but we have a pretty decent warming trend. We're going to be in the upper 20s during the afternoon. Skies are going to become partly cloudy, eventually mostly cloudy. On Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, 29 degrees. Then light snow is set to move into the region on Sunday with highs near 27. Back to you.
Emily, thank you so much. There are big claims in a lawsuit against a fancy West Coast private school. LeBron James' son and some young Kardashians went there.
And Dawn is joining us now with details of what's in the Kissing Club lawsuit. Dawn.
Yes, Will Smith's daughter Willow also went there. Tuition at Sierra Canyon runs up to $40,000. It's in an enclave north of Beverly Hills. The parents of a 7-year-old girl claim what happened to their daughter is beyond shameful. They say the girl was bullied into a kissing club where younger students have to kiss other girls inside of an unsupervised bathroom. And it got worse. The parents and their attorneys say the kissing led to sexual assault, and they say the school knew about it.
It involved actual kissing of young girls amongst each other, but it led to actual sexual touching and kissing of sexual body parts.
As a mother, the feeling of being hopeless and not being able to protect my child from this harm that 100% could have been avoided.
Our Fox LA station is following the case. They've reached out to the private school, but so far have received no response. Terrence.
All right, Dawn, thank you. Still ahead, how well do your kids know money? With the big Adele announcement, it's time to get penny wise, not the clown, the statement. Yeah.
Financial.
Yeah.
And bear down, it is Packers week, and Lou is up next with a preview of the fight on the frozen tundra.
Because that new Pennywise show is brutal.
Is it?
Oh, my
I'll
goodness.
never see it.
Save big with
Well, the Bears got everyone's attention after that Black Friday win in Philadelphia. Now with the showdown with the Packers 3 days away, what's the mood like up north?
Well, Lou has the answer for us. Lou.
I can tell you the mood right here is I'm fired up. Yeah. It's Thursday. I can't wait till Sunday. All right, last time this Bears-Packers rivalry during the regular season was geek like this, end of 2013. You remember, Bears fans. Aaron Rodgers fired a dagger into the hearts of us Bears fans, connecting with Randall Cobb, 4th and 8, 46 seconds left. It sent Chris Conte into the witness protection program. Yeah, you remember now. It's been a lopsided rivalry ever since. Bears have won only 4 of the last 30 games against the Packers. That's ridiculous. They've lost 14 of their last 17 at Lambeau Field. And although they won their last meeting in Green Bay at the end of last season, hey, the Bears have not won back-to-back games against the Packers since 2007, 18 years. I asked Tim Van Voorn of Fox 6 Milwaukee today, hey, are Packers fans worried at all about this rejuvenated Bears team?
Maybe not worried, but wary, if that makes sense, Lou. I don't think people here in Wisconsin really know what to make of the Bears. I think the win on Black Friday at Philadelphia shocked a lot of people. So I think the Packer fans are wary about this matchup because they're just not really sure what they're getting into. And I'm not quite sure how much the Packer fans believe in this Packers team, too. It's been a roller coaster this season. To their credit, they've played better later as we've gone into the season. But I think Packer fans are just a little wait and see on this thing. Pretty fired up for Sunday, though.
I like Weary. You can catch more of my conversation with Tim. He's great, man. On Chicago Sports Tonight, 6 o'clock on the Fox Local app, 9:30 here on Fox 32 Chicago. Coming up on the news at 5, Cassie Carlson will have a report from Hallis Hall as the Bears get back to practice. We're back right after this.
Doing the floor. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the sunset.
Hey,
That's stunning,
nice.
isn't it?
Look at that gold. I might still want to sing the K-pop Demon Hunter song, but I
Well,
won't.
just go for it.
I
Let's hear
won't.
it.
I won't. I can't hit that note like Rumi.
Me either. I was struggling to.
You haven't seen that yet, have you?
No, I have. I watched it because it's such a phenomenon. Did you see them at the Thanksgiving Day parade?
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know better than to try to hit those notes. I was attempting.
Yeah. And
to sing
by yourself?
of course.
Yeah.
By myself in the car with the windows shut so nobody can hear me.
What I would sound like hitting that note is how it feels outside.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Yeah.
And mine would sound the way it feels, which is painful if I'm trying to hit that note. All right, let's get a check of your high temperatures today. We ended up topping out all across the teens, across the far western sections, near 20 degrees at O'Hare, 22 at the Chicago lakefront. So a really wide range of temperatures is what we were dealing with today. But if you think back to this morning, my goodness, was it cold, especially in places like Aurora, where a lot of us were dropping several degrees below zero. And it looks like we could be doing that again tonight, too. So we're going to have low temperatures tonight that are ranging from about -5 to 5 degrees above zero. Coldest temperatures are going to be found across the far west and then warmer closer to the lake and over into northwest Indiana. But either way, it's going to be very, very cold for all of us, especially once you factor in a breeze. We have sub-zero wind chills in your forecast again tonight. Right now, we're already down to 4 degrees in Aurora. It's 9 in DeKalb, 8 in Woodstock, 17 at the Chicago lakefront, 25 degrees currently in Gary. So again, running a little bit warmer across northwest Indiana. Current wind chills are down to 5 degrees below zero in Aurora. So you guys are really getting hit the hardest with this cold right now, so it's going to stay that way throughout the evening, the overnight hours, and also something that we're watching for tonight is going to be freezing fog, meaning that any untreated surfaces could become icy out there throughout the overnight, so we're going to be on the lookout for that. 5-day forecast, temperatures return to the 20s tomorrow. It's going to feel warm for a lot of us that were stuck in the teens today, but 28 degrees expected tomorrow, 29 on Saturday. Average for this time of the year is still right around 40 degrees though, so we're way below average all the way into early next week. And then finally by Tuesday, I think that's going to be our next shot at climbing above the freezing mark. But looking beyond Tuesday, this is your temperature outlook from December 10th through the 14th, and we're still strongly favored to see cooler than average conditions. But notice this warmer air that's beginning to build off to our west. I'm hoping that the second half of the month, we may be able to see some of that warmer air trying to move in, but all this is telling us is that it's going to be warmer than average, and averages by the end of this month are still in the 30s, so it's still going to be cold. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. Tonight we're going to be mostly clear, becoming partly cloudy. High pressure is moving away from the region, and we're going to see increasing cloud cover going into your Friday. But again, areas of fog certainly going to be possible tonight. Dry skies are expected through your day on Friday. Going into Saturday, we're going to be mostly cloudy. Very small chance for a couple flurries here or there. A better chance of snow. That's going to be arriving on Sunday. And I think we're going to have area-wide at least light snow that we're going to be tracking for your Sunday. Right now, calm winds, beautiful skies out there. It's a beautiful picture. It just doesn't feel very nice with a temperature of 19. Tonight, we're going down to about 4 degrees. Again, freezing fog going to be a possibility. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, 28, 29, mostly cloudy on Saturday. And then we have light snow coming through on Sunday. Monday, mainly dry, 23, before more snow chances return on Tuesday. And then we could be seeing kind of a rain-snow mixture by Wednesday as high temperatures warm into the mid-30s. We'll be right back.
Stream.
The announcement of the huge grant from the founder of Dell Computers has put a new focus on children's financial literacy.
Jerry Willis reports on the effort to teach kids more about cash.
Trump accounts, savings accounts that the government will line with $1,000 in starter money, are getting a boost from Dell Technologies founder Michael Dell and his wife Susan. The Dells say the contribution at $6.25 billion will top up the Trump accounts with $250 for 25 million children aged 10 and under starting in mid-2026.
A lot of companies like ours and others will match the government's contribution. I hope all the companies out there will provide that as a benefit to their employees.
We hit the streets to see how much American families are saving for their children and what they make of the program.
I think it's a great idea. I think the earlier you can invest for your kids, the better off they are in the future.
Instead of giving our kids Christmas presents, our grandkids, we're going to start putting money in their college fund because we know how important savings are.
They have a savings, so they give, save, and live on the rest. So they're supposed to save 10%. They start lemonade stands, and they all do their own business. So little entrepreneurs.
The money will be invested in an index fund with the proceeds generally unavailable to beneficiaries until they turn 18. Trump has said the accounts could grow over 18 years to a six-figure balance, which can be used for tuition, to start a business, or even as a down payment on a home. The initiatives come at a time that American household indebtedness is at a record high. According to the New York Federal Reserve, college indebtedness has hit a new high of $1.65 billion. Parents we spoke to yesterday embraced the idea of the accounts, and most said they are already saving for their kids' futures. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
All right, the holidays are a time for celebrations with many families gathering around tables of food and drink. And this holiday season, many people are choosing to abstain from drinks at house parties or bars.
Yeah, according to a new survey, more than 70% of people no longer feel the need to provide an excuse to turn down alcohol without feeling judged. Analysts also found that 2 out of 3 people think it's not cool to ask why someone is turning down a drink.
It's potentially a little bit intrusive and you don't necessarily need to ask. I think people have kind of the agency to do whatever they want to do.
Other generational cohorts are rapidly following. And so this is probably the first festive season in which there's no reason to justify one's choice.
Do you?
How about that? Some experts believe the social acceptance will keep growing, with 90% of people saying they'd support their friend in choosing an alcohol-free drink. And I wonder, what came first? But there's such a huge demand for these non-alcoholic drinks, and they make everything now, don't they? Cocktails,
they do. Mocktails,
beer, wine,
you name it. But I'm sticking with my liquor.
The good stuff.
Don't judge how many I've had. Let's take it to Australia now. It's taking a dramatic action in the debate that's been going on for a while, right, over children using social media. So they are the first country, though, to impose a ban for kids under the age of 16. The ban goes into effect next week. Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, and YouTube are among the 10 companies that must take steps to remove accounts of children, or they face up to $33 million in fines. Australian officials say the short-term withdrawal will be worth the long-term benefits.
That is interesting. I wonder if that's going to stand if someone's going to take that to court. You know what I mean?
I mean, money will make you... That fine? That was hefty.
Yes.
That was hefty.
Was.
Ironically, also from down under, the perfect video for social media.
Okay, take a look at this. A baby seal walked into a bar in New Zealand. This is not a joke. That bar is known to be pet friendly, but owners say they've never had an animal visit like this before.
I think everyone's in shock. It was a lot of, oh, I can't believe this is happening. Oh my gosh, what do we do? What's going on? Where's Doc? It was a lot of disbelief, I think. Yeah. We're not even close to the water. Yeah, I think we've just enjoyed the feedback and how much the community has loved it. I think everyone's coming in. There's been the running joke that we've got the seal of approval.
Seal of approval.
Legit,
How cute
we
is
thought that was a seal behind her, not her purse.
Not her purse. Eventually, a customer went home to grab a dog crate, and then they lured the baby seal inside using pieces of salmon. The animal was safely released by conservation officers.
He was there for a mocktail. All right, today is National Cookie Day. It began back in 1976 when Sesame Street made it an unofficial holiday. Cookie Monster, of course, has been a spokesperson ever since. By the way, during the course of a lifetime, the average person will eat 35,000 cookies. And get this, Santa Claus consumes that many after just a few hours on Christmas Eve. He eats an estimated 336 million cookies that night. But he works it off because he does a lot of work. I mean, the reindeer do a lot of work.
It's a hard job. What's your favorite Christmas cookie?
Snickerdoodle.
Well, we were talking about those
Classic.
peanut butters with the Hershey's Kiss in the middle. Do you
Those
like
are nice too.
Yeah.
They call them blossoms, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, our producer's saying we need to stop talking.
She told us wrap, so no cookies for you.
I was going to bake some, but she's not getting any.
Hey, Dawn. Hey, Scott.
Sylvia's not eating cookies. She's eating time.
That's correct. That's pretty good.
Touche.
By the way, Santa's favorite is chocolate chip.
Is it?
That's what I was
Classic.
told.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you both.
Thank
now
you.
at 5, as if there isn't enough construction happening downtown, a CTA station is going to be closed for years.
Well, these frigid temps are still lingering tonight. We're tracking the deep freeze.
And new shocking details revealed in the murder of a Chicago mother. We have the latest. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
I'm Scott Schneider. A lot to get to tonight, but we want to begin with team coverage of this bitter cold.
Leslie Moreno is live with advice from physicians. First, let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls.
Well, at least we had bright sunny skies today. We still have clear skies out there this evening, just a couple clouds here or there. But because of the lack of cloud cover this evening, temperatures are already beginning to drop, and they're going to drop very quickly here over the next few hours. Let's take a look at where things started this morning, because as we know, it was a very cold day. We actually woke up at 5 degrees below zero in Aurora, 7 degrees in the city, 9 at the lakefront, 10 in places like Gary and Merrillville. And then we ended up warming up anywhere from the single digits, for those of you in the far western suburbs, to 20s in parts of northwest Indiana and the south suburbs. So we had this really wide range of temperatures even during the daytime hours of today. But tonight we're going down to about -5 to 5 degrees above zero. So overnight, it's going to be another very cold night. We're counting on south-southwesterly winds gusting as high as about 10 to 15 miles per hour at times. So that's going to be sending wind chill temperatures down to about 10 to 15 degrees below zero. So another brutally cold start to the day tomorrow. But take a look at the warming trend that's going to be here through the day tomorrow. So we're going to end up seeing at least a little bit of sunshine. Temps are going to warm into the upper 20s, which, by the way, is still way below average. Average high temperature sits at 40. And then going into the weekend, we do have slightly warmer air that's going to be sticking around. But tonight is going to be even colder than what we had last night. Back to you.
Well, those winds she's talking about, they slap you right in the face when you walk outside, and we're stuck with these conditions for a while.
Leslie Moreno live in Chicago with a warning from doctors. Leslie.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, I can tell you it is brutal out here and it's only getting colder, so that danger can set in pretty quick if you're not prepared. Tonight, hospitals across Chicago are warning people this kind of cold can be extremely dangerous, even life-threatening. If you stepped outside this morning, you already know how cold it is. We saw wind chills that made it feel -10 and -15 degrees. Tonight, we're doing it all over again. More sub-zero wind chills coming our way. Doctors say this type of weather can cause frostbite in less than 30 minutes, especially on exposed skin. They recommend layering up, which we have seen people doing that out here, and covering your hands as well as your ears and nose. Health experts warn if you start feeling any sort of numbness or tingling in any of those areas, it's time to get inside right away.
You may feel fine out there for a couple minutes, but anything could happen as far as slipping on the ice, falling down. Now you're outside for an extended period of time. So really just keeping those things in mind. Also, not only just the short exposure, but what can happen when you're walking outside with the extreme temperatures, the ice, the snow, all of those things. If your dog runs away, now you're frantically trying to find them. So it's super important to be prepared, whether you're going to be outside for 5 minutes or an extended period of time.
And if you have any elderly neighbors, make sure you're checking in on them. If you have any pets, make sure you're bringing them inside. And if you're in need of a warming center, we have a full list for you on fox32chicago.com. For now, reporting live here in the Loop, Les Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
We're getting new details tonight in the shooting death of a young mother in Chicago. Prosecutors say that the woman accused of killing her didn't know her before that encounter.
We're also learning the accused had filed an order of protection months earlier that was never served. Tia Ewing is breaking down the other key points from court today.
Prosecutors are revealing new details about the shooting that left Romeca Blackmon dead. They say the accused shooter, Quadasia Johnson, had never met Blackmon in person, even though she filed an unserved order of protection against her last December, claiming threats through family members. Blackmon's mother is now left raising her 7-year-old grandson.
I just want justice for my daughter, and I want peace in my family. This has been such a hard 3 months. It's been painful. It's been terrible. I mean, we've been torn apart. One of the leaders of our family, she was the baby, but she was the leader. The holidays are not holidays. I'm just grateful to God.
Well, let's walk through this. So on September 8th, investigators say Johnson and the father of her child were near his home. They drove Johnson to 20 West Cermak, where her car was parked. They placed their 6-month-old into Johnson's car in the back seat. Around the same time, Blackmon had just dropped off her son at a nearby school and drove back to the area where Johnson and the father were. Witnesses told police the women argued. They reported the father pushing Johnson away and Blackmon standing with her arms crossed. They say he then slammed a car door on Blackmon and also put her in a chokehold. Prosecutors say Johnson broke free, and that is when, or I should say Blackmon broke free, and that is when Blackmon was shot once, and then that's when they say Johnson paused, then fired 2 more times. Police recovered 3 9mm casings there at that scene. Johnson legally owned the gun and claimed self-defense. Prosecutors say Blackmon was unarmed. Her son turned 7 days after the shooting and is still asking to this very day, where is his mother?
Carlos may be hurt for the rest of his life, but we make sure he see rainbows in his clouds. Okay? Nothing will ever change about that. There is nothing he needs that we cannot provide. He is perfectly well. He is happy. He is thriving. And even when he feels his lowest, we pull him out of it together like we do with each other. He a superstar like his mom, and he's going to show her better than he can tell her.
Now, Johnson's lawyers did argue that she's 7 weeks pregnant and should be released from custody. The judge didn't see it that way. She remains in custody even right now. Johnson's next court appearance is scheduled to happen December 23rd.
The Park Forest Police Department is saying goodbye to one of their beloved brothers in blue.
Detective Tim Jones died yesterday after a long fight to recover from injuries he suffered when he was shot on the job.
Casey Cronus live in Park Forest with the latest.
And Detective Tim Jones's death is the first line of duty death the department has ever experienced. That shooting happened nearly 10 years ago, but Jones's fight and determination continue to inspire others. Nearly a decade ago, Detective Tim Jones suffered a traumatic brain injury after being shot multiple times in the head while arresting a burglary suspect. Doctors didn't think he would make it, but he defied the odds. And through years of recovery, Park Forest Police Chief tells us he never stopped smiling. In 2018, the street outside of the police department was renamed Honorary Officer Tim Jones Way. Then in March of 2021, the village promoted Jones to an honorary detective. Chief Brian Reisky shares that Jones's example still sets the standard for new officers today.
But the most important thing is Tim didn't stop. Tim didn't stop, and most people would have stopped. And if Tim wasn't so mentally and physically strong, he would not have survived. That's a fact. That's a fact. He's a medical anomaly. And to continue at such a pace and to have that grit and to have that drive and that fight in him, those qualities a lot of people may seek but don't truly have, and he had all of them.
Jones was 34 years old. He is a Tinley Park High School alum and played football at the University of Indianapolis before becoming a recruit at the Suburban Law Enforcement Academy, where each year the Timothy Jones Physical Fitness Award is now given to a recruit. The chief also shares that public funeral arrangements are still in the works and will be announced when those details are available. Also, counseling services are available to Park Forest officers in need of support. Reporting live in Park Forest, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
With the focus shifted from Chicago, the White House is now targeting New Orleans in a major immigration sweep. Homeland Security says they're aiming for thousands of arrests. They've made about 20 so far. DHS is now releasing mugshots of some of the people. Charges include battery, child endangerment, and domestic violence. Border Patrol Chief Greg Bavino is leading the charge. He says his guys won't stop until the, quote, criminals are out.
When all the illegal aliens leave New Orleans, when all those bad people, bad things, those criminal aliens, the child rapists, the terrorists, and all those individuals that we apprehend, when they're all gone, mission accomplished.
The New Orleans City Council has launched a Know Your Rights portal for people to report potential abuse by federal immigration officers.
All of this is happening as lawmakers are facing new pressure to set clear rules for dreamers.
And Terrence Lee is here with what two senators did today.
Yeah, Dawn and Scott, just today, Senator Dick Durbin rolled out a new DREAM Act. He says dreamers have grown up here and still have no dependable way to stay. So today, he filed the bill with Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski. And this plan gives people brought here as kids a clear way to earn legal status through school, work, or military service. But Durbin says many still have no path at all, even when they pass every background check. And to show what that looks like, he brought up Annie Luisa Lopez Bellosa, a college student who he says was shackled at Boston's airport recently and sent to Honduras even after a judge said to pause her removal. He says dreamers have to prove themselves over and over just to keep protection.
When we hear stories on the floor about immigrants committing crimes and such, let's make it clear. The dreamers are cleared by review and investigation by our government before they can ever qualify for the program, and every 2 years they have to submit their names again for review.
So for now, DACA still stands, but courts could limit it. And Durbin says this DREAM Act is his last shot, of course, before he leaves the Senate for retirement. But most Republicans want border control first. Senate leaders have not said when they will take up the bill. Scott.
All right, Terrence, thanks for that. In a month, the L station at State and Lake downtown is going to be shut down for renovations.
It will not reopen for 3 years. The station is 120 years old, and the Chicago Department of Transportation says instead of just fixing it up, they're going to tear it all down. In its place will be a new, fully accessible rail hub. There are going to be wider platforms, new elevators, and a big glass canopy. It's all beginning next year, January 5th. The station will not reopen again until 2029. Of course, this means major service disruptions. The brown, green, orange, and pink lines, as well as the purple express line, will no longer stop there. The Lake Red Line subway station will remain open. You can transfer between that one and the station on Washington and Wabash. The bus stop on State Street will remain the same.
Still ahead of the news at 5, Chicago alders are proposing a new city budget.
But Mayor Johnson says they're just wasting their time.
And exactly 1 year after a healthcare CEO was gunned down on a New York City street, the man accused of pulling the trigger is back in court.
Luigi Mangione back in court today in the pretrial hearing for the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
Caroline Elliott joining us live from New York State Court. The lawyers trying to get key evidence thrown out.
And now what happens inside the courtroom could shape how the entire case moves forward. Caroline.
Yeah, Don, Scott, there's a lot of eyes on this case right now, as this is a very pivotal moment in this case. We know that after all this, his lawyers should have a much better idea of what they're up against, as this is where the judge will decide what the jury is going to see when this eventually goes to trial. Prosecutors will certainly want to show the jury that gun and the personal journal they say lays out his assassination plans in detail. But the defense says police went way too far when they first arrested Mangione. They say police did not have a warrant to search his backpack, and they're also claiming officers did not read Mangione his Miranda rights. But according to prosecutors, the arrest and search were legal, and they say the evidence will overwhelmingly prove that. Now, it all started on this very day 1 year ago when police say Mangione shot and killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Throughout this case, Mangione has kind of blown up online, and almost every single photo of him has gone viral. He now has quite the following on social media, and some have even made it out to court to support him.
We can't just lock people up forever until they die in a cell. So I don't believe in an eye for an eye.
Every American has the right to a fair trial and a jury that is untainted by public opinion. That has been completely impossible with this case. Also, the way the evidence, it wasn't handled well.
Now, President Trump has called this support sick and twisted. This is day 3 of the pretrial hearing, and we're told it could last up to 7 days. Guys.
All right, thank you for that. After going unsolved for nearly 5 long years, the FBI says they finally nabbed the suspect accused of planting pipe bombs outside both the RNC and DNC headquarters the night prior to the January 6th Capitol riot. 30-year-old Brian Cole Jr. is in federal custody tonight, charged with transporting an explosive device and attempted destruction by means of explosive materials. Now, neither bomb went off, but police say both devices could have been lethal. The case vexing investigators for years as they struggled to pinpoint a suspect.
We brought in a team of experts who are the best at what they do in their specific fields to reevaluate that evidence, to dive back in, and to not come back with a no for an answer.
FBI says key information was discovered in the case file earlier this year after officials took a closer look.
Vaccine advisors to the CDC are delaying a vote that could lead to dramatic changes to hepatitis B vaccination practices in the U.S. They're asking for more time, saying they were confused about what they were voting on after the language changed a number of times. At the root of the vote is whether newborns should get the Hep B vaccine, which has widely been considered a public health success for preventing thousands of illnesses. The committee's recommendations are not final, although the CDC does generally align with them. And when it comes to germs, a lot of people think the air in airplanes and hospitals is among the worst. But a new study here at Northwestern is proving that air is actually pretty clean. This is the first of its kind study where researchers analyzed used face masks and an aircraft air filter. Researchers discovered the same type of microbes floating around in the air in a hospital or airplane are harmless and are typically associated with human skin. Yes, it is still a little gross. They only found a few microbes that could carry disease, and there were no signs of active infection. They looked into that because of the COVID pandemic, and people were complaining that airplanes were not filtering properly.
Right.
Well, it turns out they do a pretty good job, they found.
I still don't want to see your feet, though.
Yes. That's another story, Scott, for another day.
All right.
But the story today is the cold. Boy, are we in it, right? Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Emily Wall.
Yeah, we have some locations now that are already down to 0 degrees. We have completely clear skies overhead for a lot of us, and that's allowing temperatures to drop very quickly now. So we're down to 8 in DeKalb, same thing in Woodstock. It's 0 in Aurora, 18 still at O'Hare, 23 in Gary. It's 20 in Merrillville, and we're at 9 degrees currently in Waukegan. So on average, most areas are going to end up between -5 and about 5 degrees above 0, but some of our usual cold spots, again, for those of you in Aurora, you're already down to 0. I don't think it's out of the question that we see actual air temperatures dropping to about 10 degrees below zero in places like Aurora. So just be aware it's going to be even colder likely than what we had last night. And on top of that, we have a breeze, which is going to make those wind chill temperatures even colder. And we're also going to be looking out for some areas of freezing fog. So be mindful that you could be running into some slick spots tonight and tomorrow morning. Your out the door forecast, temperatures are very quickly going to warm into the 20s tomorrow, which I know it's weird that we're getting excited about the 20s, but you know, after a few days in the teens, I think we'll take it, right, Terrence?
Yeah, the 20s will feel tropical, Emily. And you know this, cold weather does not play. It exposes every weak spot in your day-to-day life. In fact, dentists and the ADA say if you feel a sharp sting in your teeth when you go outside, that can point to worn enamel, tiny cracks, or gums that pulled back. So cold air hits those spots fast, they say. It can also expose loose fillings or teeth that grind at night. A quick check can stop cavities and small fractures before they turn into a real pain in the you-know-what. Your furnace can reveal carbon monoxide risks, too. The American Lung Association says older heaters and block vents leak more when they run nonstop, which is why alarms on every floor and yearly inspections matter. Your pipes speak up next. The National Weather Service says pipes along outside walls freeze fast. Wrapping them and letting faucets drip on the coldest nights can keep them from bursting. Your roof tells the truth too, y'all. Melting ice can slip under loose shingles and clog gutters, so clearing leaves can prevent leaks later. Even your car joins in here. Ready.gov says cold air drops tire pressure and drains weak batteries fast. The winter tune-up helps you avoid getting stuck. I have more on my Facebook page, including signs your windows leak heat and how cold air exposes breathing problems.
Buckle up, football fans. It's time now for Toyota Talks. I'm excited to bring in my good buddy David Haw. Much has been made of Caleb Williams and his completion percentage being as down as it has been. I don't think the guy's hit 60% over the last 5 games. And we know Ben Johnson had a goal of 70% to start the season. Does that bother you? Does his completion percentage, where it is right now, or at least over the last 5 games, does it bother you where it's been?
I don't want to dismiss it, but I'm not going to dwell on it. And I'm not going to dwell on it because the Bears are 9-3. They're not 3-9. The stakes have changed. The purpose is different. When he said that, it was at the beginning of the season. And at the beginning of this season, the priority was developing a quarterback and then everything else. Well, you know what? They're number 1 in the NFC. They're atop the NFC North. Right now, the priority is winning. And sometimes when you change directions in the course of a season subtly, more significantly, you change what you're trying to do each and every week. What they're trying to do each and every week now is winning outweighs developing Caleb Williams. If you were just going to hold him to a statistical standard, you'd say, yeah, that's not good enough. But you know what is good enough? 9-3.
The former Minneapolis police officer convicted in the murder of George Floyd is once again seeking a new trial.
Derek Chauvin's attorneys argue that doctors who testified at his original trial used methodology not generally accepted within the scientific community. They also argue that the jury instructions were too broad and misstated the law. Chauvin's team believes that allowed for an easier conviction.
A home ring camera caught a delivery driver doing something pretty disgusting. You can see the driver drops the order on the ground, then casually scoops up a chicken wing, putting it back in the box, and then licks the sauce off his fingers like nothing happened. The family says they only learned of the bonus seasoning after reviewing the ring video. DoorDash called the driver's behavior, quote, well below expectations, and says he's been warned.
Let's go to Wisconsin, where this woman's recipe literally went to the grave. Her name, Michelle Robinson, or actually her mother, Karen, passed away in 2017, known for her love of cooking. So when she passed, the family engraved her famous recipe for spaghetti chicken casserole right onto her headstone. The recipe is included in a cookbook called To Die For.
The recipe, that was her world. Forever memorialized. They'll know my mom for a recipe, if nothing else.
And there's just something really powerful about food to remind us and connect us with the memories of a lost loved one.
It's a great idea. To Die For, a compilation of some 40 gravestone recipes from all over the country with stories on each family.
A police department in Wisconsin is investing its K-9 officer for an unprovoked attack, investigating, we should say, while off duty. Look at this. They posted this to Facebook with the caption, "Warning, graphic video." You can see K-9 Chase attacking Mr. Frosty T. Snowman, ripping his arm off. Police say Internal Affairs is looking into the matter, and the arm has been replaced by the department. A formal apology by K-9 Chase is expected.
Dead or alive, you're coming with me. Yeah, remember RoboCop, the movie? He's got a home in Detroit. This is actually a statue. It's 11 feet tall, weighs 3,500 pounds, and it's inspired by the '87 classic, which does, if you've seen it, take place in the Motor City. The idea coming from a tweet in 2011, somebody suggested the statue depicting the famous movie Lawman would be a great tourist attraction. The piece was constructed years later, but never found a permanent home until now.
Still ahead on the news at 5, we're taking you inside iconic Chicago bars for our Bears Game Day Eats special.
Tonight we stop at one in Lincoln Park that's been popular since the 70s.
Now at the bottom of the hour, we've been talking about the bitter cold, and it has finally arrived.
Chicago Fire Department has a reminder. Yes, real Christmas trees are beautiful, but they can also be dangerous.
First, the budget battle at Chicago City Hall is heating up.
Mayor Johnson with a message for any alders proposing an alternative budget. It's dead on arrival.
Political reporter Paris Schatz is here with the latest developments. Paris.
Yeah, Dawn, Scott, the thing about this is there's not a lot of time to come to an agreement on a budget here. They got to do it by the end of the year, and it's coming down to the wire. The mayor and city council are not in agreement on a spending plan, and they just canceled a December 8th meeting where they were going to vote. Now, today, Mayor Johnson essentially said no go to the alternative budget proposed by 26 city council members. That budget relies on things like doubling the garbage fee, increasing liquor taxes and rideshare congestion fees, as well as more cuts and efficiencies. That's in lieu of Mayor Johnson's proposed $100 million corporate head tax. Those alders say the corporate head tax is a deal killer. Mayor Johnson today says it must be part of any final budget deal. The mayor also says the alternative is $300 million short of closing a $1.1 billion gap, but doesn't mean he's not open to talking.
They didn't fully complete the entire assignment. We're going to still work with them, but again, it relies heavily on garbage fees, and in some wards, we're talking anywhere from 15 to 20,000 more people will have to pay double the amount of what they paid before. I think it's pretty straightforward here that we can either balance this budget off the backs of working people or challenge 3% of the largest corporations in the city of Chicago to put more skin in the game. That's the conclusion that I've come to. That's the conclusion that the vast majority of Chicagoans have come to. I do appreciate the participation. There's a lot more work to be done. My administration will remain engaged throughout this entire process.
This afternoon, one of the 26 alders who have signed the alternative budget had this response. This is Nicole Lee of the 11th Ward. She says, "It is our responsibility and obligation to stand up for Chicago and our financial future. We can't vote for the mayor's budget, which I believe will hurt working families today and our children tomorrow. Our kids will inherit Mayor Johnson's irresponsible borrowing. His plan that kills economic growth, undermines required pension payments, takes away tools to spur neighborhood development, and lacks needed structural efficiency, spending, and revenue options." Now, the mayor is blaming big corporate interests for stirring up this campaign to oppose his budget. But on the other hand, he's got the multi-million-dollar Chicago Teachers Union heavily in his corner. So this high-stakes standoff shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Scott?
All right, Paris, thank you. We've got a cautionary tale tonight out of Old Town where Chicago fire investigators say that a fire at a high-rise was caused by an unattended candle left burning. It happened Tuesday near North and Wells, and a lot of damage, as you can see, left behind. A resident who spoke with us on Chicago Live says hallways were filled with smoke. She was actually tying blankets together in case she had to climb down from the 14th floor. The fire began in a third-floor unit. No one was seriously hurt.
As the holidays get closer, candles aren't the only fire hazard you need to look out for. CFD is reminding everyone to keep your Christmas tree away from space heaters. If you don't, something like this could happen. The fire department does this safety demonstration every year, showing how quickly things can go wrong when your space heater is near a live Christmas tree. It can be even worse when your tree is dry. The department says if you want to get an early start on Christmas, you need to take some extra safety precautions.
Especially since COVID, people want to extend the holiday season. They say putting up the Christmas tree early reduces stress and anxiety and helps combat winter blues. But putting the Christmas tree up early also has added risk, especially an increased risk of fire if you're putting up a real Christmas tree. Fresh trees can dry out in as little as 4 weeks. A dried out Christmas tree can become engulfed in flames within seconds of ignition.
The fire department says always keep space heaters at least 3 feet away from anything.
He mentioned the winter blues. I don't know about you two, but the sunshine we got today went a long way in erasing any seasonal affective disorder that I had earlier this week when it was kind of dreary.
Me too. I mean, it kind of even took away the sadness of the cold, I guess you could say.
It was nice.
Regardless, I saw so many people that were out and about on their lunch hour today despite it being so cold, and I think it's because it was so nice and sunny out there. Your temperatures are currently cold. You guessed it. We're down to about 0 degrees in Aurora. That's our colder spot right now. It's 6 degrees in Woodstock, 8 in DeKalb, but quite a bit warmer, closer to Chicago, south suburbs into northwest Indiana, still holding on to areas in the upper teens and low 20s. But tonight, most areas are going to be dropping down to about -5 to 5 degrees above 0. But for those of you in Aurora, again, with your temperatures already down to 0, wouldn't be surprised if you're going down to about 10 degrees below 0. That's what it's actually feeling like right now once you factor in a light breeze. But most areas dealing with wind chill temperatures that are still in the teens. Tonight, low temperature of 4 degrees in the city. We'll have south-southwesterly winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. So wind chills for a lot of us are going down to about 10 to 15 degrees below 0. 5-day forecast tomorrow, increasing cloud cover, upper 20s, mostly cloudy on Saturday. A few flurries possible, but a much better chance of widespread snow is going to be here on Sunday with highs near 27. Back to you.
Thanks, Emily. The Bears are in all their glory, and they have a big game Saturday against the rival Green Bay Packers.
Can't make it to the stadium? We've got some great spots to watch the game or order takeout. That's coming up on Tasting Chicago.
No matter.
Bears have a lot on the line when they take on their bitter rivals, the Green Bay Packers, Sunday. Since it's an away game, you may be on the hunt for the perfect place to watch.
Or maybe just some top-notch takeout for your at-home viewing party. Sylvia Perez takes us to some standout spots in this week's Tasting Chicago.
We're headed to a place that has been popular since the 70s. We're talking a place where the burgers are stacked and the vibe is old school cool. Let's head inside to RJ Grunt's in Lincoln Park. Come on. So here we are at RJ Grunt's, and we are met by Chef Janet. Thank you so much for having us here.
Welcome.
Okay, love this place. When I think of RJ Grunt's, I think nostalgia.
Absolutely.
And tell everybody why, if you've never been here before.
Well, RJ Grunt's is the first of Rich Melman's Lettuce Entertaining restaurants. It's been here 54 years, just as popular today as it was decades ago. We're known for nostalgic foods as well as great burgers, wraps, wings, nachos, anything that is comforting and delicious and comfortable. You know, it's 70s vibe, it's 70s music. It's fun.
You just want people to come in and relax and have fun.
Yeah.
And it's a great game day eats spot.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've got to talk about that decor because I love looking at your walls. Tell me what these walls are all about.
Yeah, so the walls are packed with photographs of all the employees.
These are employees.
These are employees who have worked here over the last 5 decades.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is the feel you want. I also heard it's extremely family friendly.
Oh, absolutely. Strollers get parked out front and, you know, people of all ages, from the people who have been coming here for 50 years.
Generations.
As well as their offspring and friends and all kinds of people every day.
That is so cool. Okay, love the vibe, but now we got to talk food.
Absolutely.
And you have some of your highlights set up. So let's head over here.
Yes.
You can show me what you have. So, Chef, this is an unbelievable spread. These are just some of the highlights from the menu. So let's get started. What do we have?
Well, here we have our California chicken wrap, fried chicken tenders, avocado, ranch dressing, lettuce, tomato, our homemade cottage fries, chicken wings. Can't go wrong with chicken wings.
Game day, you got to eat the wings, right?
So barbecue sauce. We also have buffalo sauce as well as spicy buffalo sauce, all of which are very popular. So with our nachos, incorporating our buffalo chicken.
Okay. Well, those are some of the most gorgeous nachos I think I've ever seen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And then you have not one but 2 specialty burgers. Tell me about these.
Yes, this is actually my favorite. This is the grunt burger. So our 8-ounce beef patty with blue cheese dressing right on top of the patty and French fried onion.
And then this is kind of your basic version?
Yeah, our basic cheddar burger. But, you know, when you start with great ingredients, you have very easy to make a great burger.
Yeah, okay, and then we're moving on to this finally.
Oh, my God. So a slab of baby back ribs, French fries, coleslaw, and, you know, if you need it, more barbecue sauce.
This all looks amazing. We've got the beer there. And we were talking about nostalgia, and I guess shakes are a big part of this, huh?
Yeah, you can turn a shake into a malt. And strawberry, raspberry, chocolate. So we've got so much variety.
Oh my gosh, this is so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Okay, so what do you want people to know then about RJ Grunts? If they've never been, why they should come?
You know what? It is a blast to the past. The food is spectacularly comforting, delicious. It's got a 70s vibe with the 70s music playing all day long.
Well, I have to say, it's been a while since I've been here. I'm so glad I'm back. I took a sip out of this one. I'm going to give you the chocolate.
Well, good.
Because what I want to say is thank you for having us, and cheers to you and RJ Grunt.
All right,
Ready?
thank you.
Okay, I don't remember the last time I had a shake. That was delicious.
Fantastic.
The kids can drink that stuff, but we certainly can't.
I have to go
so
back.
good.
It's been
I
so
know.
long.
It is. Have you been to RJ Grunt's yet?
I know.
Yeah, because you don't live in the city, so I know you don't go. This is old school. You were just telling me Lou Canales loves it, right?
Yes.
And this is just one of the locations we visit. We go to a former Bears player spot, the Staley, Jake Melnick's, for hot wings that are quadruple X hot. They have Reaper peppers, and a few others. They told me that at one point when they first started doing these, they had to get clearance from security, national security, in order to bring these peppers to Chicago.
Wow.
But now apparently they're everywhere. We also go to the Michael's Pizzeria and Tavern, super thin crust. That's in Uptown.
Yeah.
And some people say that is some of the best thin crust tavern style pizza in Chicago. So Tasting Chicago, the whole show streams both Saturday and Sunday at 1 and 7 p.m.
Very hungry.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
I hungry, didn't I?
So we may be done with the snow at least for this week.
But these bitter temps will be sticking around for a while. Emily has a full forecast after the break. Lou.
I'm Lou Canales. Bears and Packers write another chapter to their storied rivalry in 3 days. Yeah, just 3 days away, but Green Bay fans have mixed feelings about the new-look Bears and their inconsistent Packers. One of the reasons the Bears are ahead of Green Bay atop the NFC North, the play of that guy, Nashawn Wright, the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month. He'll talk about his journey next in sports.
All right, Emily, tell us the cold stone truth.
The cold stone. Wish we were talking about ice cream right now.
I know, wouldn't that be nice?
Not good ice cream weather, though.
Hard truth.
Yes, so it's very cold out there right now, as we know. In fact, we already have locations like Aurora that have dropped down to about 0.
Oh, lovely.
As we stand, I mean, it's only, what, 5:47 right now, and it's 0 degrees in Aurora. And we're going down easily, I think, to about 10 degrees below 0 in Aurora. But that is usually one of our cooler spots, so that's going to be something to keep an eye on. Everywhere else right now, yes, it's cold, but it's not nearly as bad the closer that you get to the city, to the lakefront. We're at 18 degrees at O'Hare, 16 at the Chicago lakefront. We're now at 23 in Gary. It's 19 in Valparaiso, 9 degrees currently in Waukegan, 6 in Woodstock. We don't have much of a breeze out there right now, but it's enough to where it makes a difference. So we're sending those wind chills in Aurora down to 10 degrees below 0, feeling like 1 below in DeKalb. Feels like 7 at the Chicago lakefront. 15 is what it's feeling like in Waukegan. Feels like 12 currently in Valparaiso. So your 5-day forecast here, temperatures are going to be bitterly cold again tonight. But then starting tomorrow, we're going to begin to warm things back up into the 20s, which it's warmer than where we were today for a lot of us, but it's still way below average. Your average high for this time of December is actually 40 degrees, and we're not seeing 40s anytime soon. The next chance of even seeing above freezing isn't going to be here until Tuesday of next week. And it looks like we still could be dealing with some snow coming down on Tuesday, too. So looking beyond next Tuesday, so beyond the next 5 days here, this is your temperature outlook from the 10th through the 14th. And we're still strongly favored to see those cooler than average conditions continuing. So we're still in this for the long haul. It's really not until the second half of the month that we see at least some signs of some warmer weather that could be building in. Your satellite and radar, things are quiet for now. We have mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions overhead. High pressure is moving away from us. And then starting tomorrow, we're going to begin to see increasing cloud cover. So tomorrow morning, waking up very cold. A lot of us going to be between -5 and 5 degrees above 0, but wind chill temperatures as cold as 10 to 15 degrees below 0. Futurecast taking us through the day tomorrow, increasing cloud cover. Another cold front's going to come through going into the weekend, possibly bringing us a couple spotty snow showers, but a better chance of light snow is going to move in on Sunday when 1 inch, maybe 2 inches could be possible just about area wide. For tonight, 4 degrees in the city. Your 7-day forecast tomorrow, 28, 29, mostly cloudy on Saturday. Sunday, we have that light snow, temperatures in the 20s, cloudy skies on Monday. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, we are finally above the freezing mark.
The Bears' win in Philadelphia got everyone's attention. A victory in Green Bay would put the NFL on notice. Bears have not won back-to-back games against eventual playoff teams since 2006 on their way to the Super Bowl. Bears back to work today, but not before DJ Moore was named the team's Walter Payton Man of the Year, and Deshaun Wright won the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month award. Cassie Carlson with the story.
Deshaun Wright said winning NFC Defensive Player of the Month means a lot, especially because of where he came from. He said his only goal in training camp was to make the 53-man roster, and now he leads the NFL in takeaways.
I've always been confident in myself and my ability. It was just more so about getting the opportunity.
Wright also credits Dennis Allen and his defensive backs coach, Al Harris, who he's been with since he was drafted by the Cowboys, and says he's always believed in him.
I just put my head down and I work and I listen. I'm not combative at all. Coach can cuss me out and it won't move me at all.
You know, anytime you got a guy that's got talent and intelligence, and they're willing to work, those guys get better. And that's exactly what he's done. He's come in every single day, put his head down, went to work, tried to do the things that we're asking him to do.
The Bears lead the league in takeaways with 26. Allen has one reaction to it.
Yay.
But Packers quarterback Jordan Love has only thrown 3 interceptions and is playing at a high level.
It was a really nice deep ball, puts it in, you know, a very catchable spot for his guys to go make a play. And yet, when that's not there, he does a good job of getting the ball down to the check down, and those guys gain yards.
He's grown into himself. Obviously learned behind Aaron Rodgers and things like that.
And on the injury front heading into Green Bay, Tyreek Stevenson, Rome Odunze, and Ruben Hippolyte did not practice, while Kyle Monangai and TJ Edwards were limited participants. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
All right, thanks, Cassie. Coming up on Chicago Sports Tonight, Cassie will have more from Hallis Hall. Nick Costos of BetMGM is here to help us make more money on the Bears-Packers game. And Tim Van Voorn of Fox 6 Milwaukee tells us if Packers fans are worried at all about this Bears team they'll see this Sunday.
Maybe not worried, but wary, if that makes sense, Lou. I don't think people here in Wisconsin really know what to make of the Bears. I think the win on Black Friday at Philadelphia shocked a lot of people. So I think the Packer fans are wary about this matchup because they're just not really sure what they're getting into. And I'm not quite sure how much the Packer fans believe in this Packers team, too. It's been a roller coaster this season. To their credit, they've played better later as we've gone into the season. But I think Packer fans are just a little wait and see on this thing. Pretty fired up for Sunday, though.
Hey, it's been a lopsided rivalry lately. No question. Look at this. Bears have won only 4 of their last 30 games against the Packers. They've lost 14 of the last 17 at Lambeau Field. And although they won their last meeting in Green Bay at the end of last season, well, the Bears have not won back-to-back games against the Pack since 2007. 4 Illinois players named All Big Ten today. Among them, offensive tackle J.C. Davis was named to the first team, and quarterback Luke Altmaier received honorable mention. We'll be right back.
The Chicago
Should we talk more about Cold Stone ice cream or Stone Cold Truth that I flipped around thinking of ice cream?
It's just cold.
Either way, it's just cold. That's just, you know, the word that we can throw
Can't
around
even think straight.
Well, you know, I feel like earlier today I was telling the story as I was walking around, and it like wasn't coming out.
Right.
I think it's because I was distracted. All right, 7-day forecast for you tomorrow. 28 degrees, partly cloudy skies becoming mostly cloudy. 29 on Saturday. Sunday, light snow is expected again. 27 degrees, dry skies on Monday. Tuesday, snow showers return, but so do temperatures above the freezing.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us at 5.
Now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Family Feud is next. We'll see you tonight at 9.
Bears prep for the Packers today. TJ Edwards and Noah Sewell practiced. Roma Dunze didn't. Cassie Carlson checks in from Hallis Hall. Defensive coordinator Dennis Allen talked about the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month. And does offensive coordinator Declan Doyle have a plan to silence Micah Parsons? Fox 6 Milwaukee sports legend Tim Van Vooren tells us how the Packers feel about the Bears. And finally, BetMGM's Nick Kostos gives us his picks for the Big Ten Championship, SEC Championship, and Bears game. All now on Chicago Sports Tonight.
From Fox 32 Chicago Sports, this is Chicago Sports Tonight.
Hi, everyone. Welcome into Chicago Sports Tonight. Luke and Ellis with you as we kick off this show, heading to Hallis Hall. Let's pick it up with our own Cassie Carlson. Hi, Cassie. Let's start with the honors today. DJ Moore is the Bears' Walter Payton Man of the Year. How did he handle the news?
Well, it was really cool to see the video the Bears released of DJ Moore finding out he was the nominee for what they call the most prestigious award in all of football. He was doing a little video, and he was asked if there was anyone who had influenced him in his younger life, and then all of a sudden his family walked in alongside Ryan Poles, and he was shocked. So it was really cool to see that, and we heard more about it from the locker room and just how much he does in the community. Lou, I know you've been out to some of his events in downtown Chicago. It seems like he's always doing something. We know he has 3 kids that he loves, and they're always with him too. So I think he understands the impact he can have on these young kids' lives in the community and also back home too. So it's really cool to see that. And then we got Nashawn Wright, which I think is such a cool story, being named the NFC Defensive Player of the Month for November because of his 5 takeaways. And just the storyline of his entire career being that he was a 3rd-round draft pick to the Cowboys, and then he goes to Minnesota. He was on the practice squad. He gets cut, and then he comes here essentially to be a backup in the secondary. And then with Jalen Johnson's injuries, suddenly he's starting at quarterback. And the way he's continued to make plays, he had the game-changing play with the tush-push fumble against Philly last week. It has been so inspiring. And we know that he lost one of his really close coaches from his junior college at Laney College. And to see him just continue to produce and put up numbers and have this coach rethink ways to keep him on the field has been a really cool story this season.
Yeah, that's for sure. Nashawn Wright, by the way, the first Bear to win the NFC's Defensive Player of the Month award since Robert Quinn, the sack artist, did it back in 2021. First defensive back from the Bears since Eddie Jackson 7 years ago. Let's talk about defensive coordinator Dennis Allen, Cassie. He talked today. Did you guys have the opportunity to ask him about the Bears leading football with the 26 takeaways and almost doubling up the rest of the league in turnover margin?
I mean, yeah, and he had one reaction. He said, yay, which I thought was so funny because Dennis Allen is kind of, I don't want to say he's a man of few words because he's not, but he's so football. Like, this guy doesn't really mess around. He seems like a very no-nonsense guy. We've heard about his up-downs that he makes his players do. They've kind of called him like a drill sergeant in a lot of ways. And to hear him say yay was pretty funny. But he also talked about Nashawn Wright winning the award of Defensive Player of the Month. So here's what he had to say about Wright.
He's been huge for us. Again, he's a guy that really, kind of had to step up, in the absence of a couple other guys, and he stepped up in a big way for us. He continues to find his way around the football, continues to make plays, and really that's what this game's about, and so really pleased with what we've seen out of him.
And so now this entire secondary with Jalen Johnson, who said he's continuing to feel a little bit better. He's definitely not 100%.